Hey, what's up, guys? Just got top 4 at a remote duel regional last weekend with Crystron, and I just thought I'd share my deck list. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First, 3 Crystron Smiger. The standard 1-card combo searches a Speller Trap. Yeah, I think pretty self-explanatory. Pretty much everyone's going to play 3 of that one. And then 3 Sylphefnir. I did go up in card count on this one. I'm playing 47, so that does make this card a little bit worse because you have less density of Crystrons, but I think it's still good to run at 3, and you definitely, I think, want to be playing at least 5 level 5s to have one to do your combo with, and then be able to kill your opponent on the turn 3 afterwards as well. So yeah, 3 Sylphefnir, and then 2 Tristaros. You only really need 2 for a combo, and I was actually testing out another normal summon, so I think 2 of this was fine. And then 2 Sulfador. This one doesn't really do anything by itself, and it's not as good of an extender as Sylphefnir, so I think 2 is fine. And then we have the one-ofs, Thisvern or Thisvern, not really sure how to say it, Prizeal and Citri. Citri, you're just playing for the combo to end on the double Dragster or the Synchro 9, the Quarian Gondrax. So yeah, that one's pretty self-explanatory. And then this is just the Monster Searcher. And then the Turtle, I don't see everyone playing, but after you try this card, I think you'll pretty much never want to cut it, because I mean, it lets you play without your normal summon, which can come up a lot of the time. And then it just opens up a lot of other lines, like through hand traps and things. I don't know. Initially, I didn't think I needed it, but after adding it, I just noticed a lot more possibilities with the deck, so I definitely think it's required now. 3 Inclusion. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's your best starter and extender in the deck, so pretty much always want to see it. And then 1 Foolish Burial gets you pretty much any of those cards, so once again, good starter or extender. And then Cluster, the pop or pop 2 if you're a Crystron Synchro and your Crystrons can't be banished. Both great effects. If you resolve this and the Synchro 9 against Ryzeal, you're pretty much always going to win that game, removing potentially up to 5 bodies. And then these are some of the other new cards I was trying. 2 Scrap Recycler and 1 Therion King Regulus. Scrap Recycler I actually really liked. So, Smiger is a normal summon, is like somewhat one-dimensional. Like if you have Smiger and Inclusion, like sure you can potentially pass on Cluster if they hand trap you in the right spot, but like that's kind of about it if they know where to hand trap you. But if you have these 2 together, you have 2 pushes. So this can search any Crystron and this can send any of them from your deck to the graveyard. So I just think it's a little bit more versatile than just having Smiger was. Smiger is still a Crystron name though, so I'm not sure if I want to play 3 and 2. But I did like it at 2, so I don't know. I'll probably just stick with it for now, but I could see playing 3 in the future. I did really like it. I don't see a reason to play like the full scrap combo. Some people actually thought I was on that when I normal summoned this. But yeah, no fridge, no scrap wyvern. I don't want to add more bricks. That was kind of the point of going up to 47, was to draw less bricks. So yeah, I thought just this card was fine. And then Regulus I might cut actually. I did add the Infinitrack River Stormer to the extra deck to search this. It's kind of cool. Like if you draw well enough, you can end on 2 Omni Negates, or it's like a little bit more damage going second than Infinity is. But when my opponents had no hand traps, I just kind of had the standard combo, or I got hand trapped enough to where I just wasn't able to go for the double Omni Negate board. So I don't know. It's definitely cuttable, but I think it was an interesting idea. And then the supplemental engine I played was Kashtira, starting off with 3 Ryzeal. Yes, this does lose a little bit harder to detonator than just drawing a Kashtira monster, but I think it's still worth playing. Like if they have the full detonator plus Eclipse Twins, like 4 or 5 pops, you're probably losing to that anyway. So, or you kind of at least have to like draw your out to it or hand trap them prior. So I think this is fine. And then it still, I don't think, really opens you up to Droll. Like, if you draw these two together, you just start with the inclusion. And then you don't lose to Droll. And then if you have any other Crystron in your hand, you still don't lose to Ash either. So, like, I don't think it really opens you up to Droll that much. And I mean, like, if you have this plus, like, Schmeiger, then you actually want to start with this, because you get a Fenrir at least, and then if they draw you on the Schmeiger, then you get nothing. So, in some cases, it actually even helps you play around a Droll, so I don't think there's really a downside to playing 3. I know some people were playing, like, 1 or 0 of this, but I like 3 of it. And then the 3 Fenrir, of course. Awesome board breaker, awesome going first interruption. And then in this deck, like I said, with the turtle, and even sometimes without the turtle, you can play it without your normal summon. So you can Fenrir, search Unicorn, tribute the Fenrir and another monster to summon the Unicorn, search Birth, and then you can summon it back and end on both, which is pretty cool in this deck. But yeah, just the standard cash package: 3 Fenrir, 1 Unicorn, 1 Birth, and then 3 planets. And then on to the non-engine, where I have 3 talents. This is another thing I bumped up when I went to 47. Bumped this up from 1 to 3, but I didn't really see it much more, so don't have much to report with this one. One of the hands I saw it in was actually one of my 1 or 2 bricks of the day, so yeah, didn't even get to play it, so I only really actually like activated this card, I think like once or twice, so no real report on if it was that good or not, so I'll probably just keep testing it at 3. And then triple Imperm, triple Ash, don't think I have to explain these two. This is just the best hand trap, and then you have to play this because of the Charmies, and it's just generically good. And then 3 Droll, which I played, 1 because I think it's good, and 2 because I don't have Fuelos, but you could play both if you do have it, or play Fuelos instead of this. It was pretty good for me, so I would keep playing it. I think if I did have Fuelos, I would either replace it or side it instead. And then 3 Droplet. This is one of the best board breakers anyway, but we have to play specifically this one because it's a quick play into Dweller. And this deck is very weak to Dweller. It's almost impossible to win if Dweller resolves and they have like a couple interruptions even to back it up. They're probably winning that game. So yeah, Droplet and potentially even siding more outs to Dweller. Even if Dweller gets banned, I would probably still play this though, because it's a good generic out to most boards, and outs Detonator as well. And then 2 Ghost Ogre. I was on the fence about this one, but I actually really liked it. It's pretty good against Blue-Eyes, which does feel like a hard matchup, but that might also just be because I am new to that deck. But yeah, it does something into pretty much every matchup. I don't know if I would go up to 3 on it, but I did like it. And then lastly, Called by the Grave negates most hand traps and interacts with some other engines like Fiendsmith as well. I definitely think you have to play it. And then on to the extra deck. We have 2 Eloskeletus. I actually didn't think the second one was necessary going into this, but it came up actually quite a few times in grind games throughout the event, so definitely glad I played the second, and I don't think I would cut it now. And then 2 Dawn Dragster. Typically you're going for this guy, I think, but sometimes the double Dragster play does come up, and sometimes even on like turn 3. Like if you made the first one on your opponent's turn, it got outed or something, and then sometimes you do want to make this if the game goes further on, so I definitely think 2 is correct. And then yeah, the boss monster, Quarian Gondrax, banish 3 on summon, then if it dies, it can summon any banished monster. And then you're making this with the Tristara Citrate and a level 5. And yeah, I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. It's definitely the best Crystron Synchro monster. And then the other level 9 is Vermilion Dragon Mech. If you're playing the Kashtira build, I think you pretty much have to play this one. It turns Tristaros and a Kashtira monster into full combo, and it's actually a better combo than your standard 1-card combo. And also, it's just spot removal, which I think without this deck really lacks going second. So yeah, I definitely think this one is not cuttable. And then Samurai Destroyer, this is how you play around Nibiru. You change your Staros to summon this, and then it brings back any machine, most likely your Nova or your Infinity. And then Chanbara, attacks twice, good for OTKs. And then onto the Xyz monsters, we're playing Draco Sack to turn into Cherubini for the Kashtira monsters. And also this can tribute itself to Pop a card, which is more spot removal. I actually used this to out a Chaos Hunter, which is really good. They had the Lancia on top of it, so it didn't matter, but very good use for it. And yeah, definitely would keep playing it. And then the River Stormer, which I talked about with the Regulus. And yeah, the thought was if you can get to Infinity and Nova, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, if you open multiple Crystron cards, it's cool that you can end on both of these. Or like tribute over this for the Unicorn or whatever, but you end on 2 Omni Negates, which only came up once, but it was pretty good. The board was pretty much unbreakable. So, I don't know, this could be something else. I tried this just because I don't like Typhon, honestly, and wanted to try something else. So yeah, I don't know, I might keep trying it. I might try something else even instead. I'm not sure what yet. And then the links, I think these are all pretty self-explanatory too. Cherubini, Clockwork Knight, SP. They were all good. I don't think you need any more than this either. Obviously this can send Schmeiger and Thicevern. And then you can turn this into this also for spot removal. The other nice thing about SP is you can actually make it before you start comboing, specifically before you summon Sulfador, because if that card resolves, you're still able to combo. So you make this like with Unicorn and your Smyger or something, then you search the inclusion Sulfador, and then you're playing around the Imperm or Veiler on the Sulfador. I didn't use SP as much going second for removal, but I definitely think you want this card going first. So yeah, that is the extra deck, and then I actually have 2 more extra deck cards in the side deck. First off, Dark Strike Fighter for time. This deck does do pretty well in a grind game, and I got into quite a few grind games, so I definitely think you want this. And then the other extra deck monster is Mirror Logic Aggregator with 3 Ultimate Slayer. If we had the space, I would rather play Metaltronus because that's also an out to Dweller. And if I do stick with this, I'm thinking about adding a Synchro monster to play against Blue-Eyes, and maybe even a Link or Fusion as well. Maybe just not have this card only be good against Ryzeal, right? And then 2 Xyz Encore. This is pretty much just for Dweller. It can out Detonator too, but you have to be pretty certain you can kill them that turn. Otherwise, they're just going to have way too much follow-up that you give to them with this. I'm honestly not even sure this is the best. Like I said, I'm thinking about Metaltronus too. But yeah, I didn't see it, so can't really say. But in theory, it was just there for Dweller. And then, like everyone is playing for Maliss, the 3 Lancia and the Chaos Hunters. Would have liked to have played 3, but just did not really have the space. But yeah, I think you pretty much have to play at least these, and then if you want more, you can play those. And then lastly, 3 Perulia. Like I said, I don't have Fulos. I think this one's fine against a lot of decks. And yeah, like I said, it doesn't really conflict with Droll, because you can play this first, and then if it resolves, cool, like draw a couple cards. And if they ash it, you can just immediately draw them afterwards. But yeah, that was my top 4 Crystron list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and thanks for watching.